So, when things break apart between you and the narcissist, usually this would come after a long period of devaluation, and maybe they would have discarded you, or maybe you would have left them. But at that point, they were probably onto a new supply, so they wouldn't have really cared much. When things break apart, initially the narcissist is very okay with the breakup. In a way, they feel relieved because they can focus now on the new supply that interests them. And they're at this point they're convinced of your inferiority, your worthlessness, because they would have devalued you to the point where you would have had nothing to offer. So generally, they're okay with the breakup. They're happy with it. They're relieved that they don't have to pay attention to you anymore, and they're feeling good that they're investing in the new supply. Still love bombing that person. But for the narcissist to be okay with the breakup, for them to be okay with this new situation, and for them to be okay with the new supply, they need to know that you are worse off. You are worse off than them. They need to know that they're doing better than you. They're feeling better than you. That their life is going better than yours. And when you show signs that you're recovering from them and that you're doing good, then that's where initially the narcissist doesn't really believe it. Maybe you have a new romantic partner, maybe you're taking better care of yourself, doing well financially, things are just working out, and most importantly, you're happy and you don't need them. When you start showing those signs, initially the narcissist is in disbelief. It's like their ego, that part of them which convinces them that you're less worthy than them, you're inferior to them. It doesn't allow them to accept that you might be okay with a breakup, that you might come to terms with it. And their kind of outward facade of supreme confidence, it just doesn't really let the truth come through that, yeah, maybe you are doing okay without them. But the moment there's this overwhelming evidence that they see that you're doing well, that you don't need them, that you're happy, that you've moved on, that you don't want them back, that you're not trying to make any contact or communication with them, that's where they start to feel the loss. That's where the tables turn. When they feel that you might be doing better than them, even the new supply that they're with now no longer really interests them. It's almost as if they needed the post discard supply from you, which is the knowing that you're not doing well, which kind of helps sustain the momentum of the new relationship. It's almost as if they're stepping on you to be uplifted, to be in a better place in the new relationship. But when you're no longer beneath them, when you're no longer being stepped on because you're okay now, then they find themselves between a rock and a hard spot. And this reality starts to dawn on them, and it's just denial. They can't really accept it because now they feel like they're worse off than you, and that's a position they try to avoid at all costs. Because for the narcissist, everything is relative, and when they see that you, the former supply, are worse off than them, are better off than them, then they just feel miserable in that knowing. So this is where, they suffer like a huge blow to their ego. It's a huge injury. And in some cases, it can lead to a full narcissistic collapse. But that's where the narcissist thinks, their immediate thoughts are they need to somehow get leverage over you again. They need to loop you back in somehow. And that's where, if the narcissist tries to do nothing, that's where they'll get these intrusive thoughts where they just can't stop thinking about how to get you back into their life. And they're very careful because they don't want to fail at it, but they do want to know if you're still vulnerable, susceptible to being looped back into their orbit. And that's where you can expect people to check up on you. That's where they start talking to your friends. They start checking up on what you're doing on social media. They might physically go to the places that you frequent to observe you. That's where they feel this need to somehow get control and leverage over you again. And the Hoovers come because they feel the need to rekindle something. Obviously, if you were to entertain that and accept it, they would just devalue you again and step on you again. But The fact that you're doing well and you don't want them anymore means that they cannot stop thinking of a way to get you back. It's almost like it becomes their new purpose. So just be wary of that, because when they do make a reappearance, you just want to make sure that you don't let them back in, because nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to get better the second time around. It only gets worse.